Togarma, Old Armenia. Gomer's third son, Togarma, does not give us difficulty in determining his position. Togarma is a country of Armenia. Since she is listed in Izorod as a son of Gomer, Togarma had to be in the neighborhood of Phrygia, and indeed Armenia is on its eastern side as an extension of Phrygia. The modern Republic of Armenia is only a small part, perhaps only a tenth of all historical Armenia, that once included most of Cappadocia and south to about Alexandrette. It has played a very important role in history, and that is why it has been known since 15th century BC. Many ancient writers considered Armenia to be part of Phrygia because of the ties between the two countries were so strong. That was also the case with Joseph and Jerome. The old name for Armenia is Hayastan, and as it is also called in Armenian language. Hattush records mention her as Hayasa. We have the first data on Hayas from the end of 15th century BC, when the Hattush emperor Tutali III fought against the ruler Hayasa named Karana. Tutali is in fact Teutalia, the Hattush ruler of the Aryan or Serbian race. The ruler of Hayasa is called Karan, which is actually an title and not a name. Karan is well-known Serbian title, and Homer mentions it in several times in Iliad and once in Odyssey. China translates the title of Karan as Chief of War, Lord of Horde. A reasonable understanding of the relationship would be that one Karan of Emperor Teutali ruled in Hayastan and that there was a conflict between them. Teutali's successor, Emperor Supilulium, was related to Hukan, King of Hayas. During the Second Empire, Hayastan fell under the influence of Assyria and is mentioned in a cuneiform as Nairi. The name Armenia or Armenia, according to Moses of Horan, was given to one king Armen who united Nairi in the 9th century BC and created a great state. The name Armenia originated a little later and in 9th century BC. It is called Urartu, with its center around Lake Van. Lake Van is a Venetian lake, and Bergman calls it Vane, Slavs. Eusebius called Armenia the land of Saras. Gruze believes that historical Armenians are most likely a branch of Frisians. Herodotus says that the Togarma is the settlement of Phrygia. The prophet Ezekiel said that the Togarma sold horses in Tyre. Armenia was known in old days for good horses, which, as we can see, were also sold on the market at Tyre. The information reveals another historical reality and a connection between the city of Tyre and Armenia. Armenia was quite far away, and it was not easy to get horses out of it to the market in Tyre. Bochardius gives us information that Togarma was also one extremely Phrygian settlement north of Judea and believes that it was the city of Tyre. This means that the Frisians founded the city of Tyre and settled Armenians in it. There is a lot of logic here because the city of Tyre was a famous market in the Middle East, and the Armenians have always been good traders. This can also explain Ezekiel's fact that Togarma sells horses in Tyre. The city of Tyre, according to Eusebius, was founded in 1270 BC. The real name of the city is Sur, which the Greeks changed to Tyre. The city of Sur was founded by Serbs from Asia Minor as their trading statue and a port in Middle East. Some writers say that it was Frisians and others say the people Lydians. Phrygia and Judea were just state names in the same area of the same people. Sur was founded by Serbs from that country before the Trojan War, which means before the arrival of Brygian tribe from the Helm to later Phrygia. The name tells us that the city was dedicated to sun god Surya or Serbon. Jews mention the city of Sur in two ways, as Kur and as Kor. Both these names mean rock. Kur is rock. Kor is rock. Hence, some thought that the name of the city originated from the rock on which it was built. That doesn't seem convincing, especially since some say that the city was named after fish because they were engaged in fishing. In Semitic languages, fish is called dag, so this explanation is even less convincing. Silius Italicus called the city Sara and gave his brother Sabrata as his second name. The Armenians living in Sur should be from Cappadocia, that is, parts of Cappadocia that belong to Phrygia, so it can be understood that they are from Phrygia or Frisians. However, the Armenians do not belong to Serbian race. It is a different people who were in close ties with Serbs from the oldest known mentions. Hayastan, Urartu, was also ruled by Serbian Yeti. There is a legend among the Armenians and Georgians about their country Togarma, a name that Greeks write as Targom. According to this legend, all Caucasian people are descended from Targam, son of Avan and grandson of Japhet. Their Avan is Jovan, and it is very interesting that they connect their origin to Jovan. Armenians usually say that their country is House of Torgam. In the Code of Alexandria, Togarma is referred as Tergama. There is another interesting fact about the origin of the Armenians. In Moses of Horan, a great Armenian historian, there is information that Togarm is son of Tiras and a grandson of Gomer. Prophet Ezekiel unites Gomer and Togarma, which he says is the far north. This is not about the far north, but about the north of Assyria. There is no doubt that the Armenians had a larger part of Cappadocia, since the Galatians who settled in Cappadocia called them Troks, that is, Armenians because they were in their country. Not all Galatians living in Cappadocia were called that way, and Strabon distinguishes between them Trokme and Tolstrobogo in that area around Ankara. Elsewhere, Strabo calls them Trokmi, Troemi, in Latin Troginos. This leads us to think that in Cappadocia there was a place called Torgam, after which Armenians got their name, and Galatians who settled it. Ptolemy Claudius attributes to them several cities to the east side of the river Halis. Cicerone mentions them as Trogme, and Stephan of Byzantium as Trokmene. Kyriak, Bishop Trokmanda, is mentioned at the Chalcedon Church Council. The Jewish Togarma is often referred as Torgama. In the Middle Ages, Armenian historians called their country Torg. Where did this name come from and what does it mean? He is not from Assyria, as they called Armenia Nairi. It is not Jewish name. In fact, they do not know where that country is, and they say that it is somewhere in the far north. It's not Armenian either, since their oldest name for Armenia is Hayastan. Urartu inherited the name as the Armenians inherited the kingdom. This name will be related to the square and trade, and it is the form of Torgami and Tergami. Herodotus says that the Armenians were originally from Phrygia, and that during the Media Wars they still wore the same suits as Phrygians. Eudoxius left the information that the Armenians were originally from Phrygia and said that they are very similar in language to the Phrygians. This may be the case with the language in Armenia in his time, when one Serbo-Armenian mixture was used, or perhaps more accurately, that there were two dialects, one of the Armenian people and other of the ruling class. In ancient Armenia, a river was there was a river called Rasha, where the Greeks refer to it as Arax, and flows through the Yerevan plain. Armenia reached the peak of its power during the time of Tigran the Great, when his empire occupied the area from the river Kura to behind the city of Sura in Phoenicia. His contemporary and vassal, the king of Gordians, that is, the Kurds, was Zarbienos.